Welcome, Scorpio. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I have pulled for you the Wheel of Fortune card as your overall energy as I look at the simultaneous retrograde cycles of Venus and Mercury. We're both in them. They're occurring right now. Venus began in early March, retrograding in Mercury in Aries, going back into Pisces, and then we'll move forward from Pisces into Aries again until mostly about the middle end of April. And Mercury has just as of a couple of days ago gone retrograde, following the same similar pattern, but ending sooner. It's a 3-week process, and if you tack on 2 more weeks for the planet to move back over for a third time its shadow period, then it's actually it's done with its cycle at about the same time as Venus is. So these things happening together are really about the way that we are valuing the changes we've made and the changes we're experiencing in the world, and the way that we're thinking about them, processing, communicating to others about them, and how we are planning our next steps forward as a result. So this is a big opportunity for us to process changes, which is concurrent with the total lunar eclipse of a few days ago, being the first of 3 that occur over a year's period. So, and a clue as to what you're processing specifically can be found in the full moon in Pisces in last year. So this happened during the time of Virgo, as opposed to the total lunar eclipse was in Virgo, and there are several significant planets in Pisces opposing it. So this is, again, we're honoring our emotional vulnerability, our maturity, our compassion, and our intuitive gifts. The gifts that the goddess, or you can think of the high priestess as supporting in us, the ability to reflect upon our experiences and the emotions attached to it, and where we take our position in the world based on what we've learned about ourselves. The Wheel of Fortune is describing the way in which you have recycled the past over and over again. This is a unique quality of you, Scorpio. Very, very connected to the collective unconscious. That is, that those universal needs and desires of all humankind, and that connection to that always helping you to move back into a place of deeper healing, looking at aspects of yourself that need improvement as you seek to improve your environment or the world at large. This is providing a lot of opportunities for you right now to, again, recycle your past, particularly for those of you that are creatives, or all of you that have creative gifts in identifying the fuel for that output, that expression that you give, the experiences, emotions, particularly those challenges or invisible but highly motivating experiences and behaviors, patterns we've established that almost become invisible and often become an obstacle in our moving in the direction that we want to move into. So this is a general reading for Scorpios. It's not going to resonate for all of you. If you're interested in a personal reading, information for that is in the description box below. And I welcome all of you new and familiar viewers and appreciate the time that you're taking with me today. So I pulled from the Oracle Soul's Journey, the Blame card, and it reads, I accept responsibility for my well-being. This brings to mind a conversation or an opportunity that you're taking to share a personal truth with someone who has been significant in your life, perhaps a significant authority or partner. This can be siblings, family members, this can be old partners or friends, someone with whom you perhaps felt that you were pressured in order to be a certain way or do certain thing or certain things, following their lead in many cases, not feeling as though you had a choice until there was an opportunity for you to develop your own thoughts, your own voice, your own understanding of your own desires, how you wanted your reality to look and feel for your benefit. So there's a way in which you have separated yourself from the expectations of others, and yet have felt sufficiently compelled to do things in a certain way, to follow certain ideals or principles, that you are speaking out about the damage that that pressure did to you, the sense of constraint or limitation that you experienced as a result of that. This may be a very particular incident with an individual, or it can be a larger thought about perhaps some aspect of your formative years that you are now speaking truth about to somebody who has the opportunity to understand the impact of their actions or words. So this is important because it says blame, but this is really about how you have not blamed others for your experiences, how you have understood that it was part of your role with a very strong sense of self to identify what your needs and desires were and to follow those. This is not to minimize or evade the responsibility others had for your well-being, and there may be something in there that is prompting you to speak at this time. This is all about the ways, the nuances with which we are productive and efficient, and how that impacts how we work with others. So your health habits, your well-being is very much at issue here with this conversation, this encounter, this discussion that you have with others or another person. This is being clarified by the Ten of Wands. And tens, of course, just like the Wheel of Fortune, are all about changes. So the cards on the table are all about the transition that you're making right now. And that transition is to more fundamentally release yourself from the sense of obligation or responsibility you feel to meeting the standards of others, to living up to, conforming to their expectations. And how that exists in a family can be quite complex, so that there are in many of the families of the Scorpios I'm speaking to multiple generations within a family, within a traditional family structure. You may have large age gaps between siblings or children, or some dynamic like that, maybe a blended family or an extended family that is engaged in this sense of what standards, what cultural expectations were you being pressured to live up to, being obligated, being told that this was your job, this was your instruction. And so the release of that is actually having an impact on your health. And I'm not quite sure how that might be. It can be through the literal passing away of somebody who was important to you, who was an authority figure in your life. This can be coming to terms at the end of life with someone who's important to you at the end of your life, or they at the end of theirs, a kind of meeting of the minds, a kind of dissolving whatever tension or stress there was in a relationship or communication about the relationship. So this is really you just sweeping the old away in a gentle way, in an inspired way. It's not as though you're doing this to get away from violence or mistreatment. At least for most of you, this is about really inserting or asserting your own values, your own inspiration as what is important to motivate you in expressing yourself in the ways that you do. In the past, I pulled a wild elemental, and for you, Scorpio, I pulled the dragon. Surprise! And the dragon, I will read a little bit from the handbook. Born of fire, protector, exists between thoughts, ability to move between worlds, connection to the birth of the universe. A very powerful messenger, the dragon appears when major life changes are about to happen. He is with you as a reminder that you have the power to get through these changes. You're being shown that through these changes or situation, that though these changes or situation may seem overwhelming and life-altering, it's a catalyst for major spiritual growth. It is not often that this amount of power enters your life at the same time as transformational changes. Harness and make the most of it. This is really connecting you with a major social movement, activism, spiritual theme, desire for universal prosperity. There's a way that your consciousness perhaps is signaling or making clear to others how important these universal values are, how they impact our lives today, so that the changes that many of us are experiencing throughout the world are making our own habits and routines more visceral in our experience, more tangible for us. The impact we have through our food choices, through our car choices, through our lifestyle choices are having an imprint on the world. This is our footprint, and ways in which your awareness helps others understand how that can be altered for the better. How much power individuals have, and how that is a microcosm of the power in the world. I love the idea that you are existing between thoughts, are connected to the birth of the universe. And this is where I believe this connection to collective unconscious really resides. There's very few moments at which you cannot immediately call up or understand or identify the universal needs or wants of humankind. And this is very much how you are stewarding your own actions, your own thoughts, your own activities, and modeling those for others to pick up, to look at, to use as a model in their lives. And this is clarified by the Page of Cups. What I love about this, I do believe this is a very common theme that has been coming up often for you and others, is this idea of residing in our joy, making play out of serious work. And we do that by being creative, by minimizing the expectations of any present moment, so that you are leading through your exploration of your own creativity, your own joyfulness, the things that give you tangible pleasure, the understanding that the goal in life is to be happy, is to share our gifts and talents in a way that makes us joyful. in a way that brings joy, in a way that privileges joy as a feature of our happiness, our sense of usefulness, productivity, and purpose on the planet. But above all, finding ways to have fun really opens up and releases a lot of hormones that support uh, problem solving, coming up with solutions, approaching the same old relationships in new ways, seeing new things in your partners, finding joy, taking yourself less seriously is part of your healing journey. And this is part of what is helping you to understand the steps you can take on a daily routine basis to be the best partner, collaborator, and friend you can be. In the future, I pulled the citrine stone, and this is describing our solar plexus, the chakra that has to do with our self-esteem, our sense of confidence, of belief and faith in ourselves. And the key word here is abundance. The world is abundant when you choose to see it that way. I love this. I think I can stop the reading right here. But of course, I have a little bit more to say. That is so clear to me that this is a principle that you are infusing into your life. That abundance, prosperity, joy, mutual aid is a mindset before it has any tangible impact in the world. It's a way of seeing things that is not toxic positivity in the sense of superficial cheerleading or things looking good or speaking good words in the world. This is really about believing, having faith in yourself, that you are exactly where you need to be, and you have exactly the right resources, connections, and skills to shape and make whatever it is you feel moved to make. This card is clarified by the Seven of Swords, and this is one of the reasons you're so cotton picking strong, Scorpio. You accept resistance as a part of success. You understand that people may think you're different, off the wall, unique, but the power of your ideas and your expression is very intimidating to people. Some people feel fear, it evokes fear in many. Others, it makes some people, instead of feel as though they're not as smart, they're not as capable, they're not understanding you, and therefore they project those qualities onto you by not taking you seriously, by making fun of you, by attacking something superficial about you. And in the past, some of that was internalized, but you've long since recognized that when people don't want to help you or support you, that's a reflection of them, not you. You now have so much faith and belief in your own ideas, your own desires, that you understand that anytime you move closer to success or victory, there are some people that just aren't going to be happy about it. And it has very little to do with you. So it isn't as though you don't listen and observe, because you're aware that even their fear is giving you information that you may need moving forward, and you can kind of save that information for when you do need it. You can fight these battles along the way at another time, but your goal is simply to identify what you're doing and get the support that you need. And if you don't get it from here, you can get it from somewhere else. But you do not ever doubt your own feelings, beliefs, and ideas. Thank you so much, Scorpio, for this beautiful reading. If you enjoy this content, check out this video for more. And until next time, namaste.